Dun, dun, dun.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. We're taking a moment just for our technology to get going, for folks to arrive. Hello, I'm Jennifer Welch, and this is
Cassie Jones.
Cassie Jones, and we're here with Beyond Supervision and the second episode of the Embodied Way. And we're so glad that you are with us. We're taking just a moment before we get going for folks to begin arriving and for all the technology to settle in. And hopefully you can hear us on that end. I'm just going to check. All right. If you folks could let us know if you can hear us, that would be very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is a rainy and cold day here in Lawrence, Kansas, which in some ways, I mean, there isn't any perfect weather for grounding, but I think rainy weather, cold days, just a nice way to just get in our bodies and settle in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, well, Cassie, shall we get started?
Let's get started. So when we're thinking about like what are some of the really foundational pieces that we want to start this with to help you guys kind of, build this foundation, things that you can really come back to and that are easy and simple ways that you can start to participate more with your body and your nervous system. And grounding is one of those things that can look different ways, but today we're going to focus on grounding via the felt sense in the body and doing a body scan so that you can start to feel like, well, how far maybe are you out of your body? I always ask people to sense like where your breath is right now, because most of us are just breathing just right at our chest. And so when we start to notice and sense like below that, then we start to notice like, oh, I was kind of like out of my body, or I was not so much in the lower half of my body. I wasn't residing energetically in my body. So yeah, so let's start with the breath.
All right. And as Cassie walks us through this, I'm going to be practicing with you.
Mm-hmm. So finding a place where you can just start settling in, noticing the breath. Sometimes just to give the body acknowledgement that we're spending time focusing on it, you might let a hand touch your heart or your belly or your leg. Just kind of giving that notice, that felt sense touch to the body. And when we start focusing on our breath, it really gives this signal to our body to just start relaxing in a very different way, because our body doesn't necessarily understand, like calm down or, be patient or whatever, but it does understand the breath. And so you might just let your belly expand to whatever capacity feels comfortable for you. I always say just let it get fat and happy like a Buddha belly. And then just letting the air all move out slowly. So often we can be holding in that region of our body and we're just being gentle, no pushing. It's actually more in the surrender. So there is no reason to push the breath. And as the breath in your body start just to kind of sink down a little bit more into your chair, we're just going to bring a softening, as if we were to breathe starting at the top of the head. And just letting the top of the head soften. as you breathe. Letting the forehead soften, the backs of the eyes soften. Letting the mouth, the tongue, your cheeks, the jaw, all just allowing a softening. You might even stretch your jaw if it needs to be stretched. We hold a lot of tension in our jaw. And just allowing that breath as we move into the throat. You could experiment with what it feels like to let the breath out of the mouth versus the nose, if that's comfortable. Allowing the shoulders to soften, the collarbone to soften. And if you let your breath just run down the arms in a very gentle, softening way, it's like if any energy could just run out of the tips of your fingers, just letting go and relaxing. You might notice some heaviness. We start to notice our body a little bit more. And then breathing in through the heart space, softening the heart. Softening the belly. And then coming back to the spine, the top of the spine softening as you breathe in to that space between your shoulder blades, back of the heart softening, breathing. And the low back softening, breathing. Noticing the hips, the low back, the hips, the sit bones. Breathing in to that space, allowing to release, relax. We might go to the right leg and noticing the right leg, the right hip, breathing into that right knee, ankle, the right foot, the heel of the foot, the sole of the foot. And your big toe. And all the toes, just breathing, opening that right foot. And then noticing the difference between the right leg and the left leg. You might notice sensation, temperature. And we're just noticing. And then breathing into the left hip. Letting the energy energy move to the left knee, the left ankle, the heel of the left foot, and the sole of the left foot. And the big toe, and all the beautiful toes on your left foot. Widening, breathing, settling. And if there's anywhere else in your body that could use more attention, more breath, more relaxing, you can just spend a minute breathing in to anywhere else that you'd like to acknowledge. And you could just take note of how you feel right now in the present moment versus where we were 10 minutes ago. How much different your body can feel just by slowing down and being gentle and patient and really meeting ourselves in this way, saying hello to our bodies. Our bodies work so hard for us. These legs support us. This heart supports us. And we don't spend a lot of time in that place of just like gratitude and acknowledging, being with the body. And so just inviting that gratitude as the big heart opener that it is, that brings us into present moment time and energy. And if there is something that you could be grateful for, you might just drop that into your heart during this holiday season time of what do you need? What's important for you right now? And how can you give that to yourself, more of whatever comes up for you? I heard patience when I asked myself, what do I need right now? And that patience was the word. So just remembering whatever that is. Jen, what came up for you?
Well, in that specific moment, Cassie, I was feeling so much gratitude for you and this experience. And when you asked that question of what do you need for yourself this holidays, it was just gratitude for the people that are in my life. Just really being conscious and conscientious and aware of the people who are right here. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah.
It's so important.
And it takes away all of the activity or the busyness, and it brings me to what is really important, and that's the connection that I have with the important people in my life. Yeah, the real gift.
Right, the real gift, connection, and how much different connection is, and like if we spend 10 minutes in our body, like even just even us sitting next to each other, it's very different. It's almost like we kind of melt. It's like we can snuggle in now, where maybe before we were still kind of in our head and we came back all the way down. It's so fascinating to
really
be
fascinating
with another human and be able to experience just a deeper connection. We don't really spend a lot of time kind of settling in to the places that allow our hearts to open more, our bodies to attune differently, which is probably why patience was my my word, because it's a constant practice, this work and this it's a practice.
Yeah.
Every day.
And you're right, Cassie. Cassie and I were sitting here probably for maybe 10 minutes before we got started, and we were talking about what we were going to be doing through this broadcast. And so there was a lot of mental energy, but once you started and then went all the way down through the body, and then we stopped, and I looked at you, I could feel a different presence in me and a different presence in you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very real.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely. Mm-hmm. Taking time to let ourselves ground and relax so that we can enjoy what it is that we truly want for ourselves and our loved ones each and every day. It's so important. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just checking in with, is there anything else that feels important to say about that?
And if anyone on our call has anything that you want to, any comments you want to share about your experience, we'd love to see them. You feel free to write in the chat box, and let's see if I'll take a moment. So don't be shy. Feel free to share your experience if you want. Well, the beauty of what Cassie and I are doing with this is it's something that's simple. Mm-hmm. We want to offer things that are simple, that are doable, that you can return to again and again throughout your month. And so this is a very simple but doable process that you can use anywhere you are at any time, just to help with some greater presence. Yeah.
It reminds me of the first time that I understood, or I don't remember, I think it was the Gottmans, that talked about like hugging someone until your energy could release. Mm-hmm. And when I was just thinking about us sitting next to each other and like how it is a release, like when we can sit here in presence and breath, and it really does allow for our hearts to open. And those of us that are serving others in the world and, being with our families, being the human template, for the littles, the children that are around us, how when we can open our heart and really allow some different energy to take up the embodied, way of what we're doing, it's very different. It's a very different connective experience. So I suggest that you hug someone until your bodies start to release. And
absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Cassie. I love that.
Yeah. That's all that I have.
All right. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, friends, for joining us for this practice. We hope it's something you can return to again and again, and that you find beneficial. And we'd love to hear your comments. Cassie and I are continuing to develop our programs for Beyond Supervision. We're hosting some networking events here in Lawrence. We have some plans for a retreat this coming spring, and we'll continue our Embodied Way series once a month. If we can get it on the first Tuesday of the month, we will, but I think in January it's going to be a different date. We'll publish all of those as we become aware of them. But we're looking forward to serving you in 2024, and we thank you for being here and being a part of our community.
Yes, we are so excited. If you haven't been to our website yet, we're doing some research on there. We would love for you guys to participate and give us some feedback, because that is material that we do use for everything that we're developing. And so we will share that link with all of you. And those of you that are healers and helpers in the world, we're going to be doing all kinds of cool things to bring us together in 2024. And so just stay tuned, and we welcome you into our ever-growing community.
Thank you, Cassie. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yes.
Take care. Take care and be well through the holiday season.
Okay. Bye-bye.